So this is actually going to be once again, this is under the content request for my videos. So if you are interested in making any sort of content requests or asking me questions or whatever, go join my Discord down below. I'm way more active on Discord. You're probably going to be able to also, by the way, meet tons of other like-minded people. So go join my Discord community. And yeah, so in this video, we're going to be going over, yeah, that's right, how to bulk on carnivore. So once again, I'm not really a big fan of exercising in this stuff, but I, once again, will give you the answer to how to do this stuff based on understanding some of the biochemistry and stuff and my understanding of these things. So there's a couple of ways that you can add on more weight much quicker on carnivore. And I'm going to keep it to 3 simple things. So first, make sure that you're carnivore. Okay, I mean, that's like the obvious no-brainer thing. And the reason is because you're elevating glucagon, which inhibits or is anti-catabolic towards muscle. Okay, that's like extremely important, by the way, because preventing muscle catabolism is extremely important if you want to try to put on muscle and stuff. That's number 1. Number 2 is not only that you need to be eating, if you're bulking anyways on carnivore, I would recommend dairy. So that means butter, cheese, yogurt, okay, whatever dairy stuff, basically, right? You're going to be adding that in as well. Now, the thing is, when you are doing this, I will say, I personally don't recommend this, but you can do it. When you're doing this, you will be stimulating insulin, so you will be actually adding in much more glucose. And that brings us to our third thing, actually, which is I'm not really a fan of these, but once again, this is about bulking. So if you want to actually do this correctly, then this is one of the good ways to do it. And it's to add in protein powder isolates. Yes, that's right. I know it sounds crazy. So who would have thought, right? Well, the reason is because if you don't know my video on how protein works, basically, the way protein works, I'm going to explain it really quickly right now so you guys understand how this stuff works and why I'm saying you need protein isolate, or you don't need it, but it will help. As the reason you would want protein isolate or whey or whatever, something along those lines is, oh, by the way, add eggs when you're carnivore. I forgot to add that. For point number 1, add eggs. Anyways, okay. Now back to whey. So the way it works, the way it works. Okay. Corny jokes aside. Amino acids, there are 9 essential amino acids. Now, let's have a 9-letter word, knowledge, Knowledgene, 9 letters, right? Now, you will assign 1 essential amino acid to each letter of that word, knowledge. So, leucine is K, threonine is N, and so on, right? You just basically assign each one. One. Now, after you do all of that, you want to spell that word knowledge as many times as possible. So how do you do that? Well, obviously you need every single letter. You need as much of every single letter as possible, right? Well, that's exactly how amino acids work, and that's how protein works, which is also, by the way, why you don't want any sort of protein or vegan, plant-based protein isolate, because this amino acid profile is going to be much more imbalanced. So for instance, the way plants work, and the reason why you see so many vegans emaciated, is because the protein and the amino acid profile of plants looks something like 5 million Ks and then 10 Ns, and then 10 of every single other letter. So you're only actually spelling the word knowledge 10 times, even though you have a million Ks, right? So that's basically how plants work. And meat, it's like way better. It's not basically 10 million Ks. It's like 10 million Ks and then 100 of the letter N and every single other letter, right? So for the word knowledge, yeah, that's basically how protein works and how amino acids work and stuff. So in this case, that's the reason why you would want to add in this protein isolate. So now we're going to go over every single thing that you can do once again. So first, number 1, you want to be carnivore. Okay, that's like really simple. And the reason you're doing that, by the way, is because glucagon is anti-catabolic for muscle, meaning you will not be catabolizing the muscle, which is exactly what you want, because you don't want to be losing your muscle, right? That's why these bodybuilders have to work out so often. If they did it correctly, they wouldn't have to work out every single day, because insulin is not anti-catabolic for muscle. It's not the same as glucagon, right? And when you eat glucose, yeah, you get the point. So what are you going to eat when you're carnivore? I'm going to say preferably eggs. You want to definitely be sticking with eggs. And the reason I re-mentioned eggs, because I forgot to mention it, is because it is the highest when it comes to the amino acid profile. There is nothing higher than eggs. And if you don't already know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, for that matter, he was cramming down eggs. So yeah, go eat eggs. So that's number one. All right, so number two, what else are you going to be doing when you're bulking? Once again, I said add in dairy, right? So first, you're mostly carnivore. Remember that you're mostly carnivore. And second, you're adding dairy. Now, the thing is, when you are, okay, I will say this. This is like a little bit of an interesting thing. So if you're in adolescence, then I definitely recommend going more heavy on the dairy. But if you're not in adolescence, then I would recommend not being as heavy on the dairy. And once again, this is because you don't want to be catabolizing the muscle, because glucagon is anti-catabolic for muscle, right? So you want to be mostly sticking on the carnivore stuff, and the more dairy you add in, the less carnivore it is and more animal-based it becomes. So when you are doing this, though, I will say, in terms of bulking, you will be getting quote-unquote bigger muscle, but it won't necessarily be more functional, okay? So that's extremely important. I'm going to say that right now. That's extremely important. But I would recommend adding it in. So what am I talking about when I say dairy? Once again, yogurt, butter, cheese, milk, preferably non-pasteurized milk. All this stuff, yeah. All this stuff, by the way, you also want non-pasteurized if you can get it non-pasteurized, because the pasteurization process removes things that I don't think is good. So yeah, I'm gonna say that right now. But if you don't have a choice, then pasteurized stuff is fine. And number three, finally, and the very, very last one, is you are adding in whey protein isolate. Yes, once again, you will have to do this, and you will have to get a non-vegan one, and you want it, well, there's like tons of things that you want, but the whey protein isolate, I would definitely say, is probably one of the most important things, and it's because you have to be making sure that amino acid profile and the content while you are working out is favored towards that. So you have to make sure that all those amino acids are balanced, and the best way to do that is with carnivore, eating tons of eggs, being basically full carnivore. Like, for that matter, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, he was just cramming down raw eggs, right? Yeah. So hopefully you could sort of see where this is going. There's a reason why it works, and hopefully, if my explanation of how amino acids work and stuff in my previous videos. Once again, if you're interested in all the details behind everything, you can check out the scientific details and everything. Then go check out the Real Nutrition Science playlist, because it explains it all there. Yeah, you definitely will need the whey protein isolate, because that will speed things up dramatically, because the amino acid profile and the contents of that are going to be so great that it will be much easier to build muscle, because you will have sufficient amount of amino acids, because you will be able to spell that word knowledge a million times, or you get the point, right? You sort of understand the whole analogy on how amino acids and protein works. So yeah. Thanks for watching. If you found the video helpful or informative, actually go join my Discord down below. Once again, if you are interested in asking me any sort of questions, or you want content requests, or you want to meet like-minded people, all in the Discord. So join Discord in the link in the description down below. I think that'll be about it. Oh, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, because it really does help the channel grow. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.